Good morning. Yes.
Good morning. Sir, I received your email, so we'll be discussing end of our session. All right, let's start. So this will be our second session for business innovation and entrepreneurship. Last session, we have discussed about the entrepreneur thinking, business model, and innovation strategy, right? And today we'll be discussing about the business plan. So basically, the session learning objective that we are going to meet to explain the purpose of business plan, to describe who reads and business plan and what they're looking for, to discuss the guidelines to follow right and effective business plan, to identify and describe a suggested outline for a business plan, and the last but not least one is to explain how to effectively present a business plan to potential investor. Now, business plan, right? So this is an what you call an important aspects of business. This business plan is basically a written document that define your goals of your business and describe how you will attain those goals. A business plan is also worth considerable in investment of time, effort, and energy. Business plans set your objective, define budget, engage partners, and anticipate the problem before the outcome. Now, what else is a business plan? A business plan is also a key document whereby those who are a fresh start would like to get an attention of a new investor. So this is a key document. So if we look into this, a business document is a business plan as well as it's a dual document. Why is a dual document? Basically, business plan will be read by your potential investors. Business plan is also read by your employees. Your employee, by reading your business plan, they know where you are heading to, what is the aim and objectives of this business. An ideal business plan can be written in using 25 to 35 pages, but that's only an idea. You can, depending on the nature and structure of the business, the pages can be lesser or more. Now, why we need a business plan? We need business plan to attract the investors. That's number one. Always, because it can be your existing business or new business. In order to invite the investors, you need to have a plan, right? To see if your business ideas will work. Sometimes we need your business plan for a startup to see the potential or the feasibility. We need a business plan. We also need to see the business plan to outline each and area of the business. So how or what is your planning? What is your development plan? What is your contingency plan? This all are written in your business plan. So we needed a business plan. To set up a milestone, right? In other words, to set up your short-term goals and long-term goals, you need a business plan. You also need a business plan to learn about the market, right? What is the market you're going to set up your business? And if you need to learn all these things, you also need to prepare or outline a business plan. To secure additional funding or loans, as I mentioned earlier, for existing business, if you need additional funding or you need money, even from bank also, sometimes they want to see your business plan. To determine your financial needs, right? So what would be your financial forecasting, it is also a important or integral part of your business plan. To attract top-level people, in other words, is also your potential investors. To monitor your business, right? So if you have a plan like quarter plan, half-yearly plan, or yearly plan, you can monitor the growth, the target versus the actual growth rate. So you can follow this, or you can monitor this using your business plan. You also need a business plan to devise the contingency plans, right? Many business plans didn't work out during the COVID-19. Again, many new plans have been implemented during this pandemic situations, right? So all the contingency plans also need to be outlined in your business plan. So basically, these are the reasons why we need a solid and a strong business plan. Now, who read the business plan and what they are looking for? You need to very, very careful while you're writing a business plan. Who are your audiences? If your partners or potential investors reading your business plan, they would be particularly interested in few areas like financial outcome or the revenue generation. These are the areas. If or employees, your own company employees, they are looking to your business plan. They will be looking what is your long-term plan and short-term plan. So they will think or they will decide, is it the right place for me after going through your plan, after knowing your plan or the business plan. So when a firm's employees read your business plan, a clearly written business plan that helps employees of a firm to operate in signing and move forward in a consistent and purposeful manner. So as I mentioned, that in a business plan, you also detail your short-term plan and long-term plan. So the employees feel very confident. So they have, if they see the long-term plan, they are feeling very comfortable. On the other hand, your business plan are also read by your investor or external stakeholders. So a firm's business plan must make the case that a firm is good use of an investor funds for attention of others. So you need to show a financial calculation or financial forecasting that the income or the revenue generation in yearly or short-term or long-term. You also need to show them what are the risk factors. Perhaps you can show some analysis part, right? Your SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Perhaps you can also show them your Michael Porter 5 forces, how it works, and what would be who are the main competitors, this and that. So investors or external stakeholders, they will be much interested looking into this informations. Now, guidelines for writing a business plan. Basically, there is no what we call specific guidelines. There is no specific guidelines for a business, but there are some components. There are some components that you need to mention in your business plan. Earlier, Cecil has sent me that business canvas model that she has perhaps she is using a clothing business model, right? So again, it differs from sector to sector how you outline your business plan, but then certain components are must. So to structure your business plan, the first thing to make the best impression and of a business plan should follow a conventional structure such as the outline of a business, table of content, and shown in the chapters by chapter. Although some entrepreneurs want to demonstrate creativity departing from the basic structure of the conventional business plan, this is really a mistake, right? If you want to impress, there is no harm on it. You can do that as long as the potential investor doesn't miss any information or doesn't lose the what you call the interest looking further into this. Typically, investors are busy people and they want a plan whereby they can easily find the critical information. Perhaps they even want to read the executive summary and that's it. They will take decision. So In order to outline your business, you can take the help of different software like your multimedia design or what do you call a different software whereby you can put the images and other outlook. There are many software packages available that employ an interactive menu-driven approach to assist in the writing of business plan. And even there are some business plan template. I always advise my student not to follow any particular template because the template available in the market can be copied by anybody. So if it is really important business for you and you really want some investor to invest and to make sure this is genuine and it is your own creation, it is copy from somebody else. Some of these programs are very helpful. However, entrepreneurs should avoid a boilerplate that plan that looks as though it came from an canned and copied sources. And second one is sense of excitement. Along with the facts and figures, a business plan needs to project a sense of anticipation and excitement about the possibilities that surround a new venture, right? This is important things. You need to somehow show kind of excitement in creating your business plan. Content of the business plan. The business plan should give a clear and concise information on all of important aspects of the proposed venture. It must be long enough to provide sufficient information, yet short enough to maintain reader interest. If you write too long and then the reader don't find interest or they lose the interest, so it is not worth writing. For most plans, 20 to 35 pages, as I mentioned, it really not necessary to follow this number of pages, but this is an idea. This is how you can do it. Types of the business plan. There are three types basically. We can see in business plan. One is a summary-based business plan. Second one is a full business plan. Third one is an operational business plan. Now, what is the summary business plan and why you need to prepare it? Works best for the new venture in early stage of a development that want to test the waters to see if the investors are really interested in your ideas. So some summary plans are necessary because and initially the investor don't know you and you also don't know the investor. So perhaps you want to know whether the investors are really interested in your area or in your area of business. So just to test the water, yeah, you can prepare a summary, maybe 1 or 2 pages here. The other one is a full business plan. Works best for the new venture who are at the point whereby they need a funding or financing serving as a blueprint for the company's operations. These types of business plan, basically, when you are in confident level that the investors are really would like to, they have interest in this sector of your business and they would like to invest. So you need to prepare a full set. Starting from the executive summary, your competitor analysis, financial aspects, the products or services, the financial focus for the revenue generation, etc., etc. So this will be the full set of business plan. The third one or the last type of business plan is operational business plan. Operational business plan is meant primarily for an internal audiences, works best tool for the creating a blueprint for the new ventures, operating or providing guidance for operational managers. This is also best suited for the existing businesses whereby different aspects or sections of the business, how they operate, there is a plan. So this is more towards operational plan is more towards the existing businesses or even for the new businesses will indicate how the business will run. Right. Now, recognizing the elements of the plan may change. It's important to recognize that the plan will visually change while it is written. Initially, when you are at the drafting stage, so that is not the final one. As you go along, you set up more discussion with the investors and also you understand their mindset, and then based on that, you might change while you're writing your business plan. New insight invariably emerge when an entrepreneur or team of entrepreneurs immerse themselves in writing the plan and start getting the feedback from the others. So if it is a totally new plan, when you draft, so perhaps you can consult with your colleagues or your friends or some other people so that you get some input for generation of the new business plan. A suggested outline of the business plan is shown in the next few slides I will be going through. Most of the business plans do not include the elements introduced in the sample plan. We include them for the purpose of completeness. Each entrepreneur must decide which elements include in his or her plan. So let's start at the outlining your business plan. Your business plan will start with the executive summary. Now, what is the executive summary and what you should write in the executive summary section? Usually in your assignment, when you do, you write your executive summary at the beginning for academic purposes so that the examiner, they know what is the assignment all about. Similarly, in the business plan also, you put in executive summary. And this executive is a short overview of the entire business plan. Executive summary also provides those who are very busy or tight schedule entrepreneurs or potential investors. They read this while they need to know even about the new ventures' distinctive nature. These people are really busy, so they go through the executive summary. They have an idea what is the business all about. An executive summary shouldn't exceed 2 single-spaced pages. So while you're writing executive summary, don't write too long. Ideally, you should cover within 1 page. Even though the executive summary appears at the beginning of the business plan, it should be written last. I mean, executive summary is the first section or section 1, but then you should write the total or complete business plan first. Then you write your executive summary. You should not start writing executive summary first, because executive summary is the what do you call is the sum up or is the overview of whole business plan. So the plan itself will evolve as it's written, and so do not everything is known at the outset, right? So you should write your business plan first. Then after completing everything, you should focus on your executive summary, write it. And of course, it will be in section 1. So the executive summary, in many instances, investor will ask for a copy of the firm's executive summary, and it will ask for a copy of entire plan only if the executive summary is sufficiently convincing. So while you are writing executive summary, you need to be very careful. You need to be careful in choosing words. You need to be careful in presenting the information, right? You also need to be careful what to put and what not to put. The executive summary then is arguably the most important section of a business plan, as some of the potential investor, they will decide based on the information you provide in your executive summary, right? So once you have done your executive summary and you also introduce about your company, this and that, then you should write, focus on your industry analysis. In this section, you should begin by describing the industry, business. If you're in clothing industry, so you need to explain how this industry is evolving, what is the size of the market, what is the growth rate, what are the sales projection, etc., for a particular region. The items easily you need to include in this section is industry size, the growth rate, sales projection, industry structure, nature of participants, key success factors important, industry trends, long-term and short-term prospect, etc. So basically, your industry analysis will select a target market. It should have a good grasp of industry, including where it promising areas. Perhaps you might mention the location, where it is points of vulnerability, what is the weaknesses. perhaps you could include this as well. The industry that a company participates in largely define the playing field that firm will participate in. Yeah, who are the competitors? You should put in here. So that is the section number 2. Section number 3 is the company description. This section will begin with your general description of the company. You should include about the description, your history, mission statement, vision statement, your product or services. Here, this is the highlighting part. What are the product or services that you are creating the business plan? If it is product, you need to detail your product. If it is services, you need to put your services in details. You need to give some highlights about the market differentiation, how your product or services are is different from the other competitors. What was the salient feature of the products or services? What is the current status, the legal status of the ownership, company registration part, how many owners, do you have any partnership, etc., etc. You can put all the information in section 3. So while you are writing section 3 or company description, at the first glance, the section may seem the less important than the others. It is extremely important. It demonstrates to your reader that you know how to translate an idea into businesses. So this is mainly for the startup business, because the startup businesses, it came from an idea. And in your business plan, you need to detail it in writing how your idea will turn into reality. Right, so that is section 3. This is an important point, and some of the potential investor will take decision based on this part, your market analysis, right? So in market analysis, most of the startups do not do their service or at their entire industry. Instead, they focus on servicing the specific target market within the industry. So this is a mistake. Many of them, they make mistake. If it is your product or services, you need to do a competitor or analysis based on the entire industry, not particular place or in a particular area. It is important to include a section in the market analysis that deals with the behavior of the consumer in the market. The more startup knows about the more customer target market, the more it tailor the products or service appropriately. You can also do a market analysis kind of Michael Porter 5 forces analysis. You can include it here. You can show who are the main competitors, what are the rivalry in the market, what are the opportunities, what are the niche market. Yeah, all these things you can put it in our market analysis. The economic of the business. This is another important part that this section basically addresses the basic logic of how profits are earned the business and how many units of a business profit must be sold for a business to break even. Break even or financial analysis, we will put the details, but in this section, you need to convince your reader, I mean your potential customer, what are the market is going on, how it is impacted. In order to be in a profit side, what would be your break even? Your revenue driver and profit margins, what are the main forces that will generate revenue? And what are the cost? The cost includes your fixed cost and also the variable cost. Operating leverage and implications, the operation rules and regulation pertaining to your economic business. Some government, they do subsidy, some governments are very strict for a particular types of business. So you need to explain all these things here so that businessman or the potential investor, they can take decision. Okay, if I invest here, my investment is safe for at least 10, 15 years. This government don't change their policies frequently. So all these things, you need to put it in the economic aspects of the business. You also need to tell the startup cost, break-even chart and calculations here. So I hope this is clear. Now, in economics of the business side, also two companies at the same industry may not make the profit in different ways, right? I mean, although the two companies in the same industry, but they will make their own profits in different ways. Now, that also depend on your positioning of the market. One may be a high margin, low volume business, while the other can be the low margin, high volume businesses. It's important to check to make sure the approach you select is sound. Computing a break-even analysis is extremely useful for this exercise and any proposed existing business plans. Section 6 is a marketing plan. This is another important aspect of the business plan. The marketing plan focuses on how the business will market and sell their product or services. Here, you should easily include your marketing strategy, your product, price, promotions, and distribution, 4 Ps. In fact, now we can include 7 Ps. Sales processes or sales cycles, sales tactics or sales strategy. So if you can give an overview or plan or effective plan or marketing plan, then your investors or potential investors are also convinced, right? They can see the market needs and wants from here. Especially if you can present this, sometimes even seeing the marketing plan, people are convinced. So you need to be careful here. So marketing, the best way to do the startup marketing plan is to start by articulating its marketing strategy. So you need to decide whether it will be entry strategy or competition strategy. You are following a blue ocean strategy or red ocean strategy, etc., and how you will do the product or service differentiation in the market. Then you will be talking about how these overall aspects of the plan will be supported by the price, promotional mix, and distribution strategy or distribution channel. It is also important to discuss the company sales process, the particular businesses you are creating the business plan, how the process will go along. The next section is design and plan or development plan. If you are developing completely new product or services, you need to include this section. But if it is what you call existing business, perhaps you can ignore this section as well. So you need to develop the status and tasks, challenges and risk. Especially you can do analysis of the SWOT, the opportunities and threats, projected development cost, property issues like how you do your patenting, your trademarks, copyright, licensing, or brand names, etc., In this section, you can detail all this. Many seemingly promising startups never get off the ground because their product development effort stall, or the actual development, the product or services turns out to be more difficult than they thought. Yeah. So especially those startup business do not take into consideration all the facts at the beginning. Their idea remain idea only. They cannot turn into the reality. Right. Therefore, the design and development plan is important. As a result, this is important section for the business developing completely new products or services. Right? This section is important for them. Operation plan. This section, you will outline how your business will be run and how your product or services will be produced in the operation sector. Right. If it is product, there will be a factory and all, and the operation will go on. Even for your services, how you'll manage your staff and how you will provide your services. A very useful way to illustrate how your businesses will be run is to describe in terms of backstage. Yeah, operation is always in the backstage, unseen to the customers. And the front stage is seen by the customer. So you can divide it into 2 categories. So in this section, you can include about the general approach to operations. You can also talk about your business location. If it is product based, what are the equipment you are necessary? What are the facilities you need to provide for the service based businesses? So you can include all these points here in the operations plan. Basically, you have to strike a careful balance between adequately describing this topic by providing too much of details. Yeah, sometimes for the potential investors and they don't need much details, but as an owner, how you will operate, you need to know all these things. So in writing the business plan, you can give an overview of business operations plans. You know, really don't need to detail all these things. So it will be best for you to keep this section short and crispy. Right? Management team and the company structure. So an investor always would like to see this section. The management of a team, a new venture typically consists of the founder or the founders or a handful of the key management personnel. You want to provide a kind of organizational structure here, introducing the management teams, board of directors, board of advisors, company structure. Yeah. So you can include all these points in this section called management team and company structure. This is also an important section because many investors and others, as I mentioned, they read this business plan to look first executive summary, then go directly to the management team. How and who are the people managing this business? Sometimes they know some people who are managing, they have the confidence. Sometimes they don't have confidence, the people who are managing the business. And as you know, that it really depends on the senior management. The company will run smoothly or will go through turbulence in some cases. And based on the experience also, people can see whether based on your previous record or past record of the management team, they will decide to invest or not to invest. Right. So the last one is basically an introduction, a conclusion whereby you will be providing an overall schedules. You can, in this section, you can include about the incorporating the ventures, completion of the prototypes, your rental facilities, obtaining critical financing part, right? Starting the production, obtaining the first sale. So this is not the last one. This is the overall schedule. This is the overall schedule you will be providing this section. And of course, you need to include, this is the important section of financial projection. The financial section of a business plan, whereby it presents a firm pro and pro forma or the financial projection. This includes your sources and uses of the fund statement, your assumption calculations or the sheet, pro forma income statement, pro forma balance sheet, pro forma cash flows, ratio analysis. This all for the new ventures or the new businesses. For existing business or services, you need to provide the actual current balance statement, cash flow, overview of financial transactions and all, ratio analysis, different types of analysis you can put it here for the existing. But for the new one or new businesses, you need to put the pro forma. Yeah. So again, you need to be careful by providing the financial projection. You can put the short term like 1 year projection, 2 year projection, 3 year projection, 5 years projection. So depending on the nature of the business, you can do it. But while you're doing this, you really need to be careful what are the information you're providing. Having a complete and earlier section of this plan is easy to see why the financial projections come last. They take the plans you have developed and express them in a financial terms, right? Now, once you have completed all these sections, more or less your business plan is complete. Now it comes to the time to present, because no matter how good your proposal is, if you cannot convey the messages or you cannot present it properly, sometimes it doesn't make sense. Your whole what you call the effort will go vain. So basically, there are many occasions whereby we need to present our business plan. So we can create a PowerPoint presentation. I would suggest you don't take too long in presenting your business plan. You can probably if you are given a time, let's say 15 minutes, you should complete your presentation within the 15 minutes. You should not take, or you shouldn't exceed. The moment you exceed, people will lose interest and they will think that you don't have the confidence level. The presentation should be smooth and well rehearsed, and the slide, you should not be sharp and not cluttered one. Questions and feedback to the expect from the investors. So you should expect some questions. They want to clarify. Doesn't matter how good your plan is, still you will have the questions and you need to prepare for these questions, right? So these are what things you should put in your presentation. You should put the slide or the title, and then problem, solution, opportunities for the target market. What are the technology involved? Your competition, or who are the competitors? Marketing and sales information, management team, financial projection, current status, finding financing sort of financial projection, and the last one is the summary, right? So this is how your business plan should be created. Let me show you one of the example. Before I go to the example, do you have any questions so far? Any questions so far for your business plan? Kevin?
Not at this time, sir.
All right. Giselle?
No, I'm fine for now. Thank you.
All right. How about Akemi and Rihanna?
No questions at this time.
All right. Thank you. So this is how a business plan look like. This business plan is prepared for a cafe bistro coffee house, the business plan. So this part you ignore. The business plan start with your executive summary. So in the executive summary part, you can explain about all these things, information. Then you come to the number 2, your company summary. You can put the information, ownership, startup summary, etc., company location and facilities. You can then talk about your product or services. This is product based, so product description, you can put it here. You can include the information like description, competitive comparison, your sourcing, your technology or future products. What are the products upcoming? Then you can talk about your market analysis part, your market segmentation, target market segment strategy, market needs, market trends, market growth, etc. Then you do your industry analysis part, whereby you will be providing information about the competition and buying partner patterns. You will also be indicating who are the main competitors here in this business. Then strategy and implementation summary. You can put the competitive advantage, value proposition of your products or services. What are the sales forecast, milestone, I mean the short-term or long-term plans, your marketing strategy, the sales program, positioning statement, pricing, promotion, and marketing programs. You can also, under the marketing, you can put the strategic alliances. Sometimes you need to do an alliance so that you can increase your sales and generate more revenue. Internal structure, basically this is the organizational structure. You will be putting your organizational structure, personnel or the management team, who are the management team, who are the management, senior management team, etc. Then next section, you can put the financial plan, import assumption, project cash flow, financial indicators, and break-even analysis. So this is how you do write your business plan. Now, next month, there is a competition for a business plan organized by one of the university in India. Are you guys would like to participate? Let me show you the poster. So there will be a business plan competition, and you can, if your plan is, you can win prizes. So I would like to participate in this competition. Kevin?
So it sounds interesting, but I am not certain that I'll be able to dedicate the time presently.
All right. It's not individual one. Perhaps you can make a group with your fellow mates, and 2 or 3 of you can present. So it is, if you are interested, then I will be sharing with you this what do you call the brochure, and also the registration link. This is free of registration. There is no charges. But if your plan is attractive, and you can win the prizes. How about others? If you're interested, please text me. Or you can email me. Now let's look into Zizel's plan. Right, this is what Zizel created, the business model canvas, the design for clothing business or clothing store. Your key partners, your manufacturers and the retailers. How about the suppliers itself? Suppliers also can be your partners.
Okay. I didn't really have a lot of time, so it was a little bit rushed, to be honest. So I didn't really get to go through everything in detail.
All right. So key activity is the designing and manufacturing the retail process. Zizel clothing store, they normally don't design and manufacture, they sell. But if you are saying that it is the garment industry or garment factory, yes, that one is designing and manufacturing. Point of sale, third party management, yeah, understand. Key resources, stock, multiple storefront locations. Location where? Logistic and supply infrastructure. Your cost structure is fixed. Rent and payroll, yes. Cost associated with the sales purchasing for the goods or resale, yeah. So your value proposition is clothing, accessories, flagship in the store experience. No, value proposition is not clear here. Customer relationship, sales in the store, brand, yeah, it's good. Channel of is your physical store, online and social media, this is good. Revenue stream, the sales of clothing, yeah, profit, this is good. So customer segment for men, women, and children, okay. What else? Okay, that's all, right. Now, all of you for business innovation and entrepreneurship module in your endpoint assessment, you can talk about your business model canvas that I have sent you as a template, so you can create and you can put as an evidence base. You can also create about your business plan, and you can put in your endpoint assessment, right? So you can show some, the knowledge learn, the analysis part. You can also show your skills, and then you can also contribute your new knowledge that you have learned. So these are the aspects, areas you can start writing for your endpoint assessment. I will suggest don't wait for the last moment. You can even start writing now for the module of business innovation and entrepreneurship. You start writing your endpoint assessment part, right? And you will be ready by the time you finish your module. Your endpoint assessment part is also ready. Right, any question so far? So this is the final round. If there is no other question, I think we have come to an end of our session. We'll end here. So we'll go one by one last round. Kevin, any question so far for this module?
No, sir, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks.
All right. All right. So Cecil, any question?
No, sir, everything is understood. So
All right. All right. And Rihanna said you're in the workplace, so you cannot answer. You can text me if you have any question. If not, we understand no question. How about Akemi?
No, sir, no questions at this time.
All right. So I wish all the best for this module. And if you still have any other question, you can email me. So thank you for attending this session. We end our session here today.